Hey guys, what's up? Today I have got this cool little device here, which is called the MEDO portable synthesizer by Donna. Let's open up the box here and see what we've got inside. Big thank you to Donna for sending over this unit. We've got a quick start guide. Pretty nice little devices, portable synth, looper, finger drumming gadget, power and volume controls here. Got a built-in speaker on the back, our headphone jack and a USB-C connector. It's got a little mic, so that little hole there, a USB cable. Really nice shape actually. Got this lovely kind of premium rounded edges feel to it. It's quite light actually. So when I was sent this unit, I was told it's quite similar to the Artefon Orba. It is the Orba 2 by Artefon. This is obviously round, this is square. This is a little bit smaller, I guess, in terms of the shape. Kind of fits right in the middle. But the Orba is thicker. A built-in mic, which is something that's not on the Orba, although you can connect the app to import samples. There's a very cool light up. I'm not sure if you can tell from the video. It's kind of got this like matte feeling to it. Not the same as this, where it's like the same plastic material that the housing is made out of. So that little icon in the top right hand corner is how you do your like shift functions. Pressure sensitive. If you press and hold that icon in the corner, so that's the Donna logo, and we can select what we want. So we want to be on drums. It's very touch response, feels really nice. You can do just a single tap to cycle through the different instruments. So drum, bass, chord, and lead. And we can go to sample as well. So I guess you can import your own samples, which is pretty cool. The speaker on it is actually pretty good and it's quite loud. So let's turn it all the way up. You can see where you're at in terms of volume level. You've got like a visual display for how loud it is. It's pretty good quality. Plug this in so you guys can hear the actual output from it using the aux out. Just going straight into my audio interface. Let's go back onto that drum page. So going to take a little bit of getting used to because the actual size of the pads are a little bit small. Obviously we don't have like pads because this is kind of just all one layer. The surface is a little bit more like if you were playing pads on your phone, but this is kind of like a matte surface, so it's not like your phone, which is like glossy. But the pads are pretty responsive. The only complaint that I have, I guess, is that they're just a little bit small and close together. But I really like the fact that the pads light up when you hit them. And it has got a polyphonic touch, right? So I can trigger multiple pads at the same time. So it's quite tricky for me, to be honest, to do those 16-note hats, just because I feel like the response is a little bit different to what I'm used to, right? And they're just a tiny bit too close together, I would say, to kind of accurately do the 32nd note hi-hats. Like, I've got quite small fingers, like the grid shape compared to the size of my finger, right? Like, it's quite small, but I could see this being a great device if you're just looking for something like portable to take out and about with you. What I'm finding is that because it's got this kind of like rounded edge, you're playing the drums, especially if you're live finger drumming, you're kind of on these bottom pads quite a lot because that's where your drums are, right? You've got kick, snare, and hat. What I'm finding is for the kind of pressure that I'm used to putting on pads, it's almost like rocking this forward a bit when I'm playing. Can you see? But I think that's just a technique thing. I think it's maybe something I just have to get used to, is maybe doing a bit of a lighter touch. Because it does trigger even if you're tapping really, really lightly. It's got a very good tactile response. Let's try some of the other sounds on here. So let's go on to the bass. So do octave down. Aha, so you can go up or down, I guess. There we go. Being careful about hitting this pad because obviously it changes the instrument. Let's have a look at chord as well. Oh, we've got an arpeggiator. Arpeggiated. So then we've got arpeggiated from here. You can also change the key. So here we have C. Almost rocks the whole controller. Well, it does seem like we've got there's a kind of feel. And I can only do either the chord or the and play them together. Let's have a look at the lead sounds. So we can do a bit of modulation again. I think the problem is that, like, obviously visually you have the grid, but there's no kind of like physical boundary for where each pad is. So like, for example, on the Orba, it's got these like grooves, so you can kind of feel where it is once, but on here it's quite easy to like overshoot it. But it's cool that you can slide between different notes, and you have a lot more notes available than you do on the Orba. So the Orba, I think there's only 8 notes available, and on this you have 15. So you can basically do like a full scale. You can always see like 2 octaves on it. It's a shame it's missing the 16th one, because this one is used for the controls. Okay, what's on this sample one? Okay, we've got some very cool samples. I changed the scale. So I think it's just got different modes. There'll be different intervals. So we have 4 different options there for the scale. With key, we have 12 available, and there's 12 semitones in a Western scale. This would be C. We also have octave controls here. Slide to go up or down, and it changes. So you can quite clearly see kind of where you're at in terms of the octave, which is a really nice feature. That's not something that I've seen before. It changes color, so you can keep swiping, and then if we swipe back this way, we can go back up. So let's have a go at playing in a beat using the looper function. So we're going to hit record here. The metronome is going to come on. You can adjust the BPM here as well by tapping. You can also overdub. So it's pretty cool that the kind of LED lights show up here, so you kind of know where you are in the loop. You can use the play pause function again. And then go to the bass pedal. Again, I can change the volume, so I can go down or I can go up.
Cool looper function. You can kind of like glide between the notes and stuff. Super tactile, very responsive. So there's also the Donna app, which you can connect the MEDO to via Bluetooth. Will give you access to more features. Connect it here. We can go here. We're going to connect via Bluetooth and we're going to choose the MEDO. You can do the firmware updates over Bluetooth just from your phone using the MEDO app. In this menu, there's a whole bunch of extra controls. Auto power off, sounds with USB, haptic feedback. You can change all the light colors as well. So you've got RGB control. Let's see on the drums. So you can see here at the moment it's blue, but I could change that to red. It's pretty instant as well. Pitch bending scale. So let's have a listen to that. So the default is 25. So let's go on chord so we can hear it a bit better. If we do 50 and 100, it starts to get really wonky. Gyroscope. The last control we have is the instructions, the user manual in the app, which is always very handy. In the app itself, there's like a whole bunch of stuff. You can share your songs that you make in here. An app guide as well, studio. It's got like a whole built-in DAW. Once you record stuff in here, it comes up here in MIDI. Wow, that's amazing. This is pretty great if you're just trying to like make beats on the fly, and you can do tons of editing in your phone. So it's got like all the different volume levels, reverb, delay. You can add effects. You can do quantize here as well. Collections, I guess. This is where you can create your songs and save stuff. There's like you can share your beats here to share with other people. So in the library page, where you go to the classroom tab, it's also got user guide where it's got video tutorials, which is great if you're a beginner. You never used anything like this before. It's got all the videos that you need to kind of get started going with it. At the moment, there seems to only be those sounds on board on the MEDO itself. I can't see any way to change the sound in the actual controller itself, but you can do it in the app. If you go to presets, it's got tons of different presets and stuff here. I want to get this lo-fi hip-hop drum. Remix. And load into MEDO, yes. Now we've got different drums in there. You can basically do a lot more from the app. Tons of options. You can also change the bass sound. So let's change this to this one. And have a listen. So let's have a look at some of the different chords here. Let's try offbeat. Oh, that's really cool. It's like got a really long attack. Okay, let's have a listen to maybe some of the lead sounds in here.
nice one, convolution. There's tons of really nice sounds in here. In the sample page, you can even change that one. This one, see what that one sounds like. Let's try and make a new beat with this. I'm gonna reset everything here and let's leave this open and we'll see if it syncs with everything while you're doing it. If I try recording, so say with those drums, because they're maybe a little bit off, what I could do is just quantize them. I don't want to quantize it too much, so I'm going to put it on groove. And now that should stay on for the drums. It's gone back to just record. You can select to quantize as you record. You can do it per instrument, which is pretty cool. So say if I do the bass snap to grid, that's pretty cool. It's a pretty powerful device for what it is. Great for traveling. I mean, the size of it is fantastic. The speaker is fantastic. I think you can also use it as a Bluetooth speaker, but I know you can also use it as a MIDI controller as well. The LED lights on here are really, really useful. So you know exactly kind of where you are in the loop, what instrument you're on. The special button function makes it really easy to navigate in between all the different functions. It's a shame that you can't have more built-in sounds built into it and that you have to have it connected to your phone app to be able to change the presets. But the fact that you can control a DAW and it's pretty seamless, there's no latency between what you're playing here and what appears in the DAW, which I think is amazing, really. Yeah, Donna have done really well to kind of create that app integration with this. It's cool that it's also got a sample function here where you can drop in any sample and kind of manipulate it and be able to play with it. The looper is great on it as well. I like the fact that even if you record over and you don't hit record straight away, it still knows to do an 8-bar loop or a 4-bar loop or whatever. The actual touch sensitivity of this is great. It's super responsive and I really like the way it looks as well. It's very sleek. The only downside to this form factor, of course, is when I'm drumming, because of these rolled edges, it tends to sometimes rock a little bit when you're playing. But these pads are so touch sensitive that you kind of don't need to press that hard. I think I'm just used to playing on like pads where you have to press quite hard for them to trigger. Yeah, it's great that it's got a full octave on here. So you're not kind of limited to just a small number of pads that then you have to only have in a scale. Like you've got the scale function here as well, but you can also kind of play chromatically, which I really like. It's a really solid entry for like a little portable device that's just fun for making music on the go. And the integration with the app makes it so much more. Like you could definitely use this to create full beats. Maybe this is your first venture into making beats. It's a great little beginner controller. The controls are quite intuitive. The MEDO is a great little controller by Donna. Thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've got any questions about the MEDO, feel free to drop a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Are you going to get one? Thanks for tuning in. Until the next one, happy practicing.